Hello everyone, I'm Llewellyn Falco. I'm an Agile Technical Coach. That means when I come to your company, I sit with your programmers and we program together. We learn how to do better things with their code. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is a book that I read on the science of luck that has impacted me deeply, and I wanted to share some tips with you that will help you get more out of this conference and, more importantly, out of the rest of the conferences for the rest of your career. Now, I mentioned this was a book. Here's the book, The Luck Factor by cognitive scientist Richard Wiseman. Absolutely amazing book. One of the things we know is that luck is super important. But most people feel that luck is something outside of their control. And what we have found is scientifically, that is not true. So let's look at the first experiment. The first experiment, Richard took 700 people. Some that identified as super lucky in life and some that identified as chronically unlucky. He had them all play the lottery. And he asked them, how do you think about winning? Do you think you're going to win? And well, the unlucky people, they sort of, maybe I'll win, but probably not. And the lucky people, twice as likely to think they would win. They were lucky and they knew it. And how does that manifest? Well, the lucky people, they won a little bit of money, but the unlucky people, they won the same little bit of money. That's not how luck works. But here's the thing. The lottery is stacked against you. The more you play the lotto, the more you will lose. That is how it's designed. But that is not true for life. The more you do in life, you don't lose more. A good example of that is the interview. So they did a lot of research into lucky people and unlucky people taking interviews. And again, just like with the lottery, unlucky people thought they wouldn't get it, and lucky people thought they would. And how did that manifest itself? Well, a lot of the unlucky people didn't even bother to show up for an interview they already knew they weren't going to get. And when you don't show up for the interview, you tend to not get the job. The lucky people knew they were going to get the job, so they showed up for the interviews, and they didn't get the job. But they continued to show up to the workplace until they eventually got the job. They were so sure that they were meant to work at these places that they just sort of hung around until people realized what they already knew. So here's the 4 things that scientifically make people more lucky. They take more chances. They go to more interviews. They come back even when there isn't an interview. They listen to their intuition. It's not that they have better intuition, but they are more likely to pay attention to it. Unlucky people often reported that they had a bad feeling and they ignored it. Positive expectations. Lucky people have positive expectations. They think they're going to win. And those positive expectations manifest. They self-manifest. And then finally, they're more resilient. I got rejected from the job. I keep showing up. So let's take a look at each of these 4 things on how you can use them to make this conference lucky for you. Number 1, take more chances. You want to meet someone amazing at this conference? Don't sit down at the table with everyone you came from work for. That's not going to meet anybody new. Go meet new people. Yeah, you're going to meet a lot of people that you don't care about. That's okay. You're going to meet some that are amazing. An interesting way of doing this is using the Pacman Rule. If you are closed in a group of people, new people can't come. But if you make that space, then a new person can come and join. And then just reshift so that you reform the Pacman. You meet new people, you'll have a great conference. Number 2, listen to your intuition. Now that goes in 2 directions. One is, you might see someone and say, shit, I should talk to them. Maybe you don't swear at the conference. So that goes in 2 ways. One, you might see someone and be like, wow, that person looks interesting. Then go talk to them immediately. Don't overthink it. Listen to that intuition. Go say hello. If they say something that's interesting, talk to them about that thing. I am a speaker, and you'd be surprised how many other speakers say people are afraid to come and talk to them about the thing they are talking about. We're talking about it because we're interested in it too. Of course, you can come talk to us. Come talk to anybody who says anything that you think is interesting. And the intuition works in reverse. If you're bored or uncomfortable, go somewhere else. There's so many new people here. Go find something that's right for you. That also goes for talks, by the way. If this talk isn't working for you, switch over. Find one that is. I guarantee that there's a perfect talk for you every single session. It's your job to find it. Positive expectations. I love the study on this because they set someone up on a blind date and they would tell them randomly, hey, you're so lucky. This person is amazing. I can't believe this is the person you got set up with. Or they would say, oh man, listen, go gentle, just be patient. This they're good underneath. They're just a little rough around the edges. You got to just sort of get past a bit of the awkwardness. And if you got the good review, you would show up and be like, hey, it's so good to meet you. I'm glad we got to do this. And the other person would be like, yeah, and within seconds, the date is going well. But if you got the bad one, people tend to show up and be like, oh, man, blind dates, right? I guess we have to do this. And immediately, the date started going downhill. Easiest way to do that here is just smile. Be resilient. I've given you some tips on how to meet new people. You're going to meet some people you wish you hadn't. But it doesn't matter. You don't have to keep seeing those people. You're at a conference, you'll probably never see them again. The people you meet that matter are the ones you'll keep in contact with. It's okay to meet 50 people you're just not interested in, as long as you meet 2 or 3 that change the world. So keep trying. So those are the tips I got for you today, and I hope you have a lucky conference.